Monday. Oh, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody has recovered from the turkey sandwiches, the turkey leftovers in general. Um, and of course, all you people who are celebrating Happy Indigenous Day and going on about how it's genocide and blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. It's like, guys, you really need to study history bad. Don't get me wrong, but everybody is from somewhere else. And trust me, I don't like what a lot of things happened back then, that led to where we are now. But I got some bad news for you. Just about everything on this planet has been built on the backs of others. And it is sad. It is disgusting. But that's the history of the human race in general. Matter of fact, most of the indigenous, that's why I think George Carlin said it best when he said, well, "Why are you calling these people Native Americans? Everybody's from somewhere else." The reason that everyone thought Columbus was walking around, this is what you were taught in school, that the reason the name Indians came along for the folks who were born here, were here originally, was from because Columbus was walking around like a dumbass thinking he was in India. It's like, no, it came from a phrase that said something that's Indios, which means the children of God, because that's how he saw them, not as children, but of the fact that they were of the land and whatnot. That's what he was referring to, and that's where the term Indians more than likely actually came from. It's kind of like when they tell you in school that America was named after Amerigo Vespucci, even though that was a claim made by a 15th century monk who had never been more than 10 miles from a monastery in his life in the middle of Germany. And then even later reprinted, he had a printing press, by the way. Why, I don't know. But then, where he had a thing to press out, and it's like, and he even retracted it later because they said, no, the truth is, nobody knows. They came up with the Amerigo Vespucci thing based off this guy who even claimed he got it wrong. It's one of those mysteries. Like, who named planet Earth? Planet Earth. Makes you wonder, don't it? Okay, war between land and the sea is what I'm getting at. Now they're dropping hints, and to me, I think it's just hype. I think it's just a way to drag people in. Gemma Redgrave's character of Kate Stewart may not survive war between the land and the sea. Folks, and of course you got RTD going, you have to watch it to the very end, blah, 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 and that's when it's going to grab you or whatever. That's when the big thing's going to happen. It's like, folks, they're going to say anything and do anything to get you to watch this thing. Now me and the crew or whatever, we're going to watch this thing, we're going to review it, and we're going to review it fairly. But the thing is, I'm going to tell you, going right out of the gate, I do not have high hopes for this. I am, like I said, as much as it worked out for the Silurians and whatnot, I am getting sick and tired of alien races or, races who are born here. We can call them indigenous or native, I don't know. Or what do you call it? Suddenly got human faces. And they're now Homo aqua, even though, like I said, in all the past references, even by the Silurians and Warriors of the Deep, they were called the Sea Devils. Ugh. I agree with Mark there. It's going to end with the Romeo and Juliet thing. So they're not going to they're not going to cack off at the end. They're going to have a hybrid baby. Kid's going to be an amphibian. Junior, oh my God, when'd you last see Junior? Well, it's not like he's drowning in the lake. He's got gills. Oh, okay. Oh. Or from what my wife was watching this morning when I left. Oh, sorry, but well, Junior did have gills, but he got ate by meth gator. All right, can you tell how excited I am to be back on a Monday? I can't stand Mondays. The only thing keeping me going this morning is the fact that a couple of weeks and then I'm off for, Christmas vacation. Oh, Alex finally got voted off. Well, That's sad to hear. She did very, very good. She did a great job for what I've seen of the clips and whatnot. So, come on, you had to know it was going to happen eventually. Ugh. I would have loved to have seen her win the whole thing, but yeah, the kid's born a tadpole. We're going to have to keep him in the tub for the first few months. Glad I got that new herbal jacuzzi. Oh. Okay, from what I heard, somebody put up that the fifth episode was titled The End of the War. And I'm like, I was hoping that was fake because I was like, oh. Yeah, that whole Poppy Belinda thing was don't bring that up again. That is the dumbest effing thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh no, Belinda had a kid. She just blah blah, yeah, and then somehow that kid is going to be Susan's mom, which means the doctor's daughter, which means not Georgia Tennant. I mean, that whole Poppy thing was so damn stupid. It made me want to cry. I was like, what? My big question is this, and I hate to say this: have they fired Russell yet? Okay. Oh man, I thought I'd never say that in my lifetime, but it is obvious that guy is burned out, and he's still burned out. Don't get me wrong. Okay, that's what I thought, that they had released the title later that day because they said it was the end of the war. I'm like, wow, talk about anti-frickin' climactic. They should have just called it the end of the show because that's the big thing. How are they going to pull this off? I'm assuming the only reason Russell even got a Christmas special for next year was because, and also, are they going to bring Shooty back to film it? Wait, no, that's right. They offed Shooty. They regenerated him to save the universe for a baby that didn't really ever exist. Oh, well. Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, they won. They got some audiobook awards. Okay. Me, like I said, I'm trying to avoid mainstream media for the most part. Like I said, because one of the reasons we didn't go to Chicago TARDIS this year is take a look what's going on in Chicago, not far away from where they hold Chicago TARDIS. Not to mention several of the towns and all that would have had to drive through are currently involved with ice riots and shit. And also the fact that, speaking of ice, yeah, it dumped a massive, we got a good chunk of snow, and they got it even worse up there from what I heard. And, we would have had to have driven home in that mess. And it's bad enough when you got to drive through that mess for, say, a few minutes to get to a store or a few minutes to get to work. But imagine being on that for like 4 or 5 hours or more. No, thank you. Sure, you're going to have areas that are going to be clear and all that, but that's like, no thanks. I don't want to do that again. I'm still trying to figure out how this is America, but if you want to take a train to the coast, it's still going to take you like how many days? Whereas you can get a bullet train anywhere else. But then again, look at the size of Japan. That's why they have monorails and shit. Come on, it's not like we got a whole land to cover. Because they don't want to take out any existing rail. That's one of the reasons why we don't have high-speed trains all here in America. They would have to spend billions of dollars replacing some of those rails that have been out there for like a century or more. They'd have to replace all that infrastructure. But that's a whole other story. Ugh. And of course, another thing that was drifting around, they got what's her name. They're still putting up videos claiming she's found the tomb of Cleopatra, and of course she is not. I can't remember the name of this lady, but she started out as like, I think she became like a high-powered accountant, attorney, or something like that, and then she became an archaeologist overnight somehow. But it's like, folks, why don't you just say it? You're looking for the tomb of Cleopatra, the seventh. There were the last ruler of Egypt was Cleopatra the seventh, and she was a Macedonian Greek, because after Alexander conquered Egypt, Ptolemy took over, and from then on you had the Ptolemaic dynasty, which means Egypt for the most part is being run by Greeks or Macedonians, whatever you want to call them. That's a whole nother thing. We'll get into that someday. But I know I saw that. I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah, RTD hasn't even wrote the episode yet. I'm like, what's it going to do? Screw around until like 10 days before it's due. Okay, hang on. I got an idea. Is it going to hit the bong water or something hard? I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember the name of this lady, but yeah, she suddenly moved out there. She's basically living in Egypt now, and ugh. Meanwhile, Zahi won't let you on wouldn't let you on the plateau back in the day, unless you agreed with all of his theories. Ugh. I still love the fact they're still touting that the Great Pyramid is the tomb of Khufu and all that. I'm like, oh man, yeah, really? How'd they get a sarcophagus up those tiny little things through those tiny little doorways into that main room where you're claiming the sarcophagus of Khufu is at? I'm not kidding. Study the diagrams on this shit. I want to know how they eluded the pyramid in antiquity when the I think it was the Arabians, or was it busted in like the 6th or 7th century, and they literally busted in. And the original granite plugs are still in place. We're talking 10 tons apiece on the main entryway, which means the only way in and out of that pyramid were through the small shafts, which were blocked off at the end inside, that are like 18 inches long at most. Like how many inches high? They're little tiny rectangles. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, they also stole all the artwork off the walls. They stole his Book of the Dead off the walls too. And oh god, I'm getting tired of that shit. But okay. But of course, my theory is they found the real tomb of Khufu a long time ago, and they just pumped it full of water and said, "Oh look, groundwater. We can't dig under the Sphinx, guys. There's water under there." Oh man, but it's Monday. We'll have to endure it. Yeah, they have one at the one science center, the Atomic Museum or something like that. They've had a Fallout display there for years, and for as far as I remember, they're doing a lot of hyping for that, and that's coming up, December 17th. That's the one I'm really looking forward to, is Fallout Season 2, because I'm dying laughing because all the diehard New Vegas fans are going, they wouldn't have ended the game that way. Every time I've ended the game, I killed Mr. House. Therefore, the whole Mr. House thing in Fallout Series 2 is bullshit. Yeah, all 5 of you got together and bitched. It's like, guys, it was the best video game adaptation I've ever seen. And I've seen quite a few attempts. Oh. I remember because one guy never answered me. I said, when I typed the comment on his video, I said, maybe you guys should stick to Last of Us Season 2, because there's something to complain about, and that should be more your speed. But not to mention Ellie's head just seems to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Somebody made a gif or a cartoon about that. Oh, by that actress's head just... She's getting, pretty soon she'll have more forehead than Nicole Kidman. Okay, it's like, ugh. Should be able to show movies on that thing. But okay. All right, I just looked at the time there. That's what I thought it said. I got to get going. So please be kind, be calm, be safe. Remember, December 7th, the opening 2 episodes of War Between the Land and the Sea will drop. We're going to probably do the Omega Files on it the following weekend. I haven't decided whether that's going to be Friday or Saturday. I'm going to see what everybody else says, get their opinion on it, and we'll go from there. All right, so take care, everyone. Be kind, be calm, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your day. We're almost to Christmas. That's a good thing. So take care, everyone. Toodles.